So I scaled an ecom brand to $90 million in just 4 years. And right now I'm watching hundreds of founders make mistakes with AI. And most of them don't even realize it's happening. And it's not even the tools that they're choosing, it's their understanding of the technology. They're trying to build the house before the foundations exist, and it's costing them more money and time. I call this the amplification trap. Because whatever is working in business right now, AI will make it better, sure. But what is broken, AI will actually make it worse faster. And I've coached over 200 different brands in ecom the last year alone. Founders who win with AI aren't the ones who move the fastest, they're actually the ones who move the smartest. So in this video, I'm gonna walk through the 5 foundational problems I see destroying ecom brands with AI and exactly what to do about each one. Because until you actually fix these, no tool on the planet is going to help move the needle forward the way you need it to. So problem number 1 is you don't trust your data. So let me ask something, right? Can you tell me your true CAC right now, your real LTV, and your contribution margin, your net margin in under 10 seconds? If you can't, and you've hesitated even for a second, that means you have a data problem, and you must fix that first before you do anything with AI. I've talked to dozens of ecom founders, and almost none of them have this single source of truth. They've got maybe Shopify, they've got Klaviyo, Triple Whale, Northbeam, whatever. Maybe their dashboard they've created themselves through Google Looker Studio, but they don't have a single source of truth like a data warehouse across everything. They have 4 different platforms, 4 different numbers, 0 clarity. We use Iris Finance for our data warehouse. Because you know what AI does with that setup? It takes your 17 competing opinions about where the truth might be and it generates an answer with 0 confidence and it hallucinates. We use Iris Finance for our data warehouse and I can't recommend them enough. I've got no affiliation with them except that I use them. And they are the data warehouse for us. They are a source of truth across all the different platforms in one. So first of all, get your data warehouse in order. It's not a feature, this is a liability. So before you go spend millions on AI tool mapping and map your systems, decide which platform is gonna be a single source of truth in the business, and then you can move forward. So problem number 2 is leadership isn't modeling it. Now, this one's gonna hurt a bit, but a lot of you think you're using AI, but you're not. And then you're expecting your team to use AI every single day without actually leading by example and showing them how you're using it, how you're minimizing your hours and improving your workflows. There's no point playing around with all the LLMs. It's about actively solving use cases and workflows with AI and then showing your team how you did it. I hear founders say all the time, my team's resistant to AI. But then when I ask them, what workflows for yourself have you automated? And they can't answer me. So you cannot delegate transformation, you need to model it, or it doesn't happen. When I started using AI daily for strategy, diagnosis of the business constraints, writing, analyzing something for my team, the skeptics stopped dragging their feet in the team because they could see what I was doing with it and what I was getting it done and how I bought back 10, 20 hours a week. And that curiosity is contagious. So is complacency. So which one is actually spreading for your organization right now? That's what you have to ask yourself, curiosity or complacency? And it's very quickly gonna filter out the people that are gonna be with you in the company for the next couple of years, or the ones that's gonna be left behind. Problem number 3 is your team isn't ready. Now, here's what I've learned after building 25 different businesses in the last 19 years now. Culture is what you tolerate. Culture is the standard. Culture is what people are doing when no one is looking. So if you tolerate an incurious team, you will get an incurious team. If you tolerate low AI literacy, you get a company that falls behind of everyone else. And I'm telling you now, the companies that are gonna win are ones that adopt AI the quickest. Why? Because they're gonna save costs and reinvest that money from their balance sheet to marketing, and they're gonna acquire more customers. The companies that acquire more customers and that can pay more to acquire more customers will win the game. So it's very important for you to equip and empower your team to create efficiencies where you can redelegate those resources into marketing. We are sales and marketing companies as ecom businesses. We need more marketing dollars to get more reach, more acquisition, which is going to fuel the growth of our company. And that's where you're going to win. And a lot of it's going to be coming from how curious your team is. People who experiment the most, they fail the most, who share their works, they're investing their hours beyond their 9 to 5s. The curiosity part is power. And you can hire for it, sure. You can reward it and you can also model it. But you can not mandate it. So ask yourself, when did someone on your team last come to excited about something they figured out? Or when did you last do that to your team? That answer tells you more information about your company's future than revenue, I'm telling you right now. Problem number 4 is that nobody actually owns it. Here's how the AI initiatives die in most companies, right? Marketing might start exploring it for AI content and maybe ad generation and stuff like that. Then finance wants to use it to analyze their P&Ls, but no one's really actually talking to each other. And what started as promising initiative turns into a political mess in 6 weeks. Then it quietly disappears. I've seen it happen in brands day in, day out, smart people, real budgets and genuine opportunity, but it died because nobody actually owned the mandate. Nobody owned AI in the company. So What you need to do is go hire an AI lead. We've done this in our company. We actually have 2 people now in charge of AI, and they are in charge of driving the AI initiative within the company. They have a clear ownership and authority and budget to educate the team and build the team up to learn more about AI, to implement workflows and systems and apps within our company. It doesn't matter how small or big you are, you need someone to own it. You can have someone that's self-taught at a lower level if you don't have the resources, or you can get someone more experienced. You just need someone to own it and drive the narrative home, and their sole job, their sole focus has to be AI, how to introduce it into the company through building the people and also implementing certain systems and workflows. Now, problem number 5, you have no time. The reason for not doing something is the exact reason you should do it. If you don't have time to utilize AI, that means you have been very inefficient in structuring and managing your own time management skills. And that's exactly why you should have AI, because you're not good at it to begin with. And this one shows up in almost every single conversation I have. They say, I don't have time to implement a new system while keeping the brand running. Well, here's what I learned when someone actually says that, right? Time, I don't have enough time. That is their number one blocker. What they're actually really saying is, this isn't actually a priority yet. And it's not a criticism, it's just the reality. Every business is drowning in work. There are hundreds of things competing for your time and attention every single day. And if AI isn't explicitly prioritized, the real time blocked on real calendars, then it will never get done, or it gets pushed out. And the reality is, you have to take a little 20% hit to get a 20% gain. And you cannot squeeze transformation into, margins on already overloaded schedules. So here's the move. Don't try and implement AI across your business. That's fantasy. Pick one specific problem, the constraint, and solve that constraint with AI in the next 90 days. And that will change everything for you. For us, it was maybe the creative strategy process to output our creative ×3 without hiring more people. So we built an AI pipeline for that. We showed the team, sure, it scared some people, but it was real. We got down to the nitty-gritty. We created systems that allow us to output more. And that's how creative momentum, one problem, one owner, one win at a time. That's how transformation actually works. So here's what I want you to walk away with. AI needs to be utilized in a way where someone owns it, okay? That you're empowering the team, you're rewarding the team to adopt it, and you want to pull all your resources into solving your biggest constraint and utilizing AI to solve that constraint. Don't focus on using AI to solve tire kicking activities. Focus on solving your constraint where the highest leverage use of AI is going to benefit your business. And once you start doing that and you get a win, then you'll quickly see how your business will transform. You'll have more resources, make more money, which you can reinvest back into AI, and you can get outside returns, and you can win the game by allocating resources to marketing and winning the acquisition game. So I hope that helped. I'm going to be pulling back the curtain on how we're using AI in our company, in our brand, with the AI engineers that we've hired, and hopefully that can help you. So make sure you subscribe and keep track. Also, drop in the comments below how you're using AI. Hopefully it can help someone else. See you in the next one.